folks. Welcome in. Seven Rivers Racing, KQE GTV. We finally got racing in western Wisconsin underway. Not only two races in it, the Mississippi Thunder Speedway in Fountain City, but the Crosse Speedway kicked things off last weekend. And some of those drivers looked like they were in mid-season form already. Even the rookies were pedaling around that 5/8 mile with style. And we're going to recap the entire race tracks, both Fountain City and La Crosse here during segment number one of today's show. Without any further ado, let's jump right into the dirt. Hey, I finally had a chance to race my first ever full-length race in a flyer at the Mississippi Thunder Speedway last weekend. I took last in my heat race, but I took 8th out of 12 in the features, so I felt pretty proud about that. And for the first time ever, I'm 8th in a point standing, so I thought that was pretty cool. Dan Bailey's going to be powering that flyer. The next time they run at Mississippi Thunder, I'll drive it the third night, and then he'll run out the season with the fourth night, looking at a full schedule possibly coming up next year. Looking at the ending results at MTS last Friday night, of course, they'll be running again this weekend. In the Pier Stocks, Jason Newkirk got things done in the 15-lap feature event. Flyers, the inaugural Flyer Trophy goes out to a very familiar name at the La Crosse Speedway, Mark Bornitz. He's got a probe, and every time you see Bornitz in a probe, you can pretty much put two and two together and watch him running up front. USRA Modifieds went to Brandon Davis, got himself some extra bonus cash as well. Jeff Brower took home the Super Stock feature last Friday. John Van Minsel, his nickname is Lucky, and that's what he's been this year. 2 straight feature wins in the USRA B-Mods, and we round things out at Mississippi Thunder with Nick Schweback winning the Street Stocks. Coming up Friday night, a big night coming up. You can check out the full schedule at MississippiThunder.com. We've got the 6 classes as we normally run. The A and B mini mods will run their second consecutive week. And we told you earlier in the racing TV show program that the 600 mod series has gotten so popular that they've picked up a touring series sponsor this year, Liquid Nitro Energy Drink, and they'll be running a 16-race touring series format. Only 4 times they'll go away from the Mississippi Thunder Speedway this year, but those 4 times the Flyers will be coming in. And we're going to welcome the 600 mods back this Friday night with their touring series. And along with the series are going to be a lot of different drivers that have jumped on that series this year. So I would expect almost a 30-car count when you look at the 600 mods at MTS this Friday night. Again, MississippiThunder.com for more information. Let's go to some video highlights across Speedway. Had a nice night to get things underway this past Saturday night. We will start things off with the NASCAR late models, and, well, every night Robin's racing, and there's always a menagerie of wrecks. Well, this had to be the first time, as long as I've been announcing at La Crosse, that we have had a family affair on a wreck, and it's going to happen up here in turns 1 and 2, and rookie Carter Christensen will follow his uncle on the brakes as Travis got a little bit loose going into the corners right there. Ended up going slideways. As you see him, the back end just kind of kicked out, just missed Eckelberg, and he just misses Brandon Berg. And his nephew, Carter, well, he crumples up the hood, and he gets on the brakes and had to send it back to the pit stall. Both cars did come back out, though, so hopefully there was just minimal damage. You can see both of them back out this Saturday night, which is going to be a big night. The weather looks pretty good right now. To the feature we go. And a name synonymous with the La Crosse Speedway. Every time he comes out, you always got to put Mike Kenneke towards the front. It took him about 8 or 9 laps to work his way through the field. And once Kenneke got out front, he was just on fire. There was no stopping Mike. You see second and third place. What a battle that was. Even Cole Howell in there in the 4th position. Todd Korsch, this is his last year racing. He's got T-shirts made up. This is his final racing season of 2014, held on for a very strong second. Brad Powell, who was set quick time. Matter of fact, the top 6 cars in 6for6 dash all were the 19-second range. He finishes 3rd. And a youngster that a lot of people say could have a shot at winning a crown this year, Cole Howell, he'll end up in 4th. So you see the distance that Kenneke had, powering that number 19 late model onto Victory Lane. He also, of course, takes over the point standing with week number 1. To the Sportsman we go, and another driver that said, from what we had heard, was going to run a part-time schedule this year depending upon his work schedule, may rethink things. He not only won the 6for6 dash, but he also wins the feature, and that would be the mighty fast Greg Scheck. He would be untouched on this Saturday night. Dummer with his new paint scheme right behind, Jimmy Crackcorn Gilster right there. But Greg Scheck getting it done as you see him come out of turn 4 with a sizable lead as well. And again, he was in that 6-for-6 dash. Jeff Thompson's nice new painted 0-3 got a heat race win. But Greg Scheck may rethink how much he's going to be running La Crosse Speedway this year, as again, he not only picks up a 6-for-6 dash win, he gets the feature race win with Steve Bachman trying to reel him in on the closing lap there coming out of turn 4. So Scheck, your feature winner at La Crosse. Thunder Stocks, we go at a nice field of cars that came out. The typical names that we've seen over the past, the veteran drivers in the Action Track Cornwall were back out again. And this night goes the newly painted number 19 out of Sparta, Andy Moore. He held off a couple of hard charges. Took about 3 laps for Jason Bolster in that 8-ball purple Thunder Stock to try to make some noise in the back end of the number 19 of Andy Moore. Several times he got to the outside. Moore would just dip down inside and peel away. And that awfully strong machine, of course, the Moore name synonymous with the La Crosse Speedway and Thunder Stocks. And Jason Bolster on this night just didn't have enough in the corners to pull away with a feature win. So Andy Moore will pick up win number 1, followed by Bolster and the hard-charging number 69 of Jordan Myers. A new format this year for the Hornets, and I really like this. We have so many Hornets that come out 40 to 60 on any given Saturday night. And we've usually run 2 different features with about 22 to 24 cars in each feature. This year, they're running preliminaries. So what we had was we had 4 preliminary races. The top 5 advanced to the A-main event, which I love that format. So you've got 5 drivers and 4 events going to be taking on the tail end of the A. And you'll see right here, the B feature event was loaded. A lot of cars were gunning for the top spot because they wanted to get in that feature. You see Josh Brown and Taylor Dobbs right there working their way around with just a lap to go. And some other cars trying to find some power to get up towards the cars that went into the A-main. And Cam Dzelski got the job done. And we saw a bunch of cars go into the A-main, which we'll show you here right here on the video as well. It was a nice field of cars. I like the new format because it gives the youngsters a chance to get into a main that maybe they've never done before. And this came down to a 2-car battle. I have to say, I've never seen Hunter Miller run as fast and as tight as he did right down there in the number 10 car. Now, that's John Radke's 7R behind him. We didn't find out till later in the races that John was still under the weather. And Dan Rosick from Toma, who's been a longtime Hornet driver, hopped in the 7R, and he gave Hunter Miller everything he had. You see another youngster right there, Hunter Nelson in the 52. And here we go side by side, bumping, banging, no black flags, wrestle your way to the checkered flag. And that's exactly what Dan Rosick did right there, and shook Hunter Miller's hand after the race and said, man, that was a heck of a race. And Rosick picks up feature win number 1. Coming up at the Speedway this Saturday night, it's a big night. We have 2 of them on the Speedway schedule. A lot of fans come out. It's Buck Night. All concession food, beer, pop, you name it. When it comes to food and drink-wise, only $1. Also, going to bring out 2 more classes this weekend. So to join the late models, the Sportsman, and the Thunderstock, we've got our Outlaw division, which I know a lot of different drivers have been putting together some different machines. The names of Wayne Smith and Cole Shozy, Jerry Ellsworth. Some other newcomers are going to be joining the Outlaw class this year. Well, then we're also going to debut something that hasn't been done at La Crosse before. It is a 6-cylinder Hornet class called the Street Stock. So we've got 5 divisions coming in at Buck Night. You can check out lacrossespeedway.com for more information. Also, I'll remind you, a lot of those drivers in those classes will appear on my Saturday show, WKTY's Race Report, to be heard on AM 580 WKTY 1 and 2 on Saturday. Coming up next, we're going to get into the minds of some drivers from the La Crosse Speedway in Mississippi Thunder Speedway next on Seven Rivers Racing.
Get ready for the Thunder!
The Mississippi Thunder Speedway.
Your Friday night racing destination.
Every Friday night.
Super stocks, modified.
600 mods.
Pure stocks, street stocks, B-mods.
It's racing excitement, dirt track style. Tickets $12 for adults, $10 for seniors. Students free with an ID. And this year, kids 17 and under free with an adult admission. Friday night racing starts at 7.
Bring on the Thunder!
Dirt track style at the Mississippi Thunder Speedway.
Highway 35 just north of Fountain City.
Some of the best moments in life happen at home. American Standard Heating and Air works smarter to make them all more comfortable.
For a limited time, save over $600 on select American Standard systems. Call now for details.
Holman American Legion Post 284. It's all about veterans' rights, quality of life. The Legion belongs to the veterans it serves. The American Legion supports Holman High School sports and local NASCAR racing. Did you know the Legion is open to the public? Stop by for a cold one. Tuesday lunch is a home-cooked meal. Supper is Buck Burgers. Thursday, it's tacos. They can be the place for your wedding reception or meeting. Holman American Legion. It's for veterans and for the people of Holman.
At Cousin Subs, we never settle for good. We always strive for better. Since 1972, we've been creating our signature Deli Fresh subs. We start with fresh bread that's baked every day. Then we freshly chop vegetables and slice the meat daily. It's how we do it, and always have. Why? Because you deserve better.
Welcome back, Seven Rivers Racing here on KQEG TV. I'm Dan Dyker along with Dan Bailey, the D&D show at the Mississippi Thunder Speedway every Friday night. And our next guest is in a class that I had never seen in all the years I've been covering racing, announcing racing, and been at racetracks. And it's probably one of the most exciting classes we have at MTS. John Griffin drives the K9 600 mod. Glad to have you on the program.
Nice to meet you.
I'll tell you what. Now, first off, how long have you been in that 600 mod?
This will be my 4th year.
Now, when you started 4 years ago, did you ever see that class going to how big it is now, where you get a touring series?
I watched it a couple years. I think they had them for 2 or 3 years before I got into it, just to see if the class was going to take off. And it did. They had enough cars, so I decided to buy one.
And it's kind of funny because, and I hate to point this out, but you're one of the older generation drivers that we have at the Speedway. You're not 19 years old. You wish you were 25 again. Is it more of a hobby for you, or is it more of a competition for you?
It's both. I like the competition, and with this class, and now the touring series that's coming up, the cars are close enough. It's not a money thing.
Right.
With the rules we got, it's any age group can drive them. It's not young or old. We seem to have a division where you got a group of older guys and a group of younger guys.
Right.
The middle ground is, a lot of them are racing the bigger cars, but it's a lot of fun.
The first year I announced with Dan at MTS, I had no clue what kind of a car that was. And the funny thing, when you were explaining to me, you didn't have to explain a whole lot because everything is almost complete in that ride.
Right. One of the things we like about the 600 Modified Series is that it is a fast series. It's a relatively economical series for you drivers and car owners. It's also a safe series. A lot of times race fans will see your smaller cars, the diminutive size, and the high speeds that you guys turn, and they might be a little bit afraid right up front. But those cars are safe, aren't they?
Yes, they're very safe. Anybody that's been at the tracks around here, they've seen several rollovers, several hard crashes, and so far everybody's been all right. The cars stand up good. They're fairly easy to fix. So.
And it's an interesting point because when I used to announce at the Knoxville Raceway, we're talking 410 sprint cars doing in excess of 125 mile an hour. Everybody has seen one of those things roll. When they roll, they don't stop. They just keep going and going and going. You see parts flying over the place, the wings destroyed. You don't see that with the 600 mod series. I think we saw maybe a couple of last year where someone turns over 3, 4, 5 times. It's so tight when it lands. There goes the latch, and then out you climb.
Yeah, I've been lucky enough not to roll one of these over, but with the smaller wheelbase cars, they'll still roll like the sprint cars. I had a dwarf car that I rolled over twice, and that was enough.
One of the things that we're excited to talk about with the 600 Modified Series, and I know you're not an official representative, but we'll see if we can get some information from you, is the new Liquid Nitro 600 Mod Touring Series, which is getting started this year, visiting 4 different tracks here in the Upper Midwest with, I think it's a 16-race series. Are you excited about this series this year?
Yeah, I'm real excited. With our classes branched out, where we got a group in Iowa and a group in Minnesota, Fountain City, Wisconsin area. And on Friday nights, it kind of takes away from the 2 tracks that are running. And both tracks, Mississippi Thunder and West Union, have agreed not to race on the nights that we have a traveling show, so those cars can come up here and race, or we can go down there and race and not worry about points at that track if whoever's racing there. And we should have well over 20 cars, I guess, because we got, I think it's close to 28, 30 cars.
Wow.
We have a great group of racers here at the Mississippi Thunder Speedway in this division, but we also have some racers from the Iowa tracks that maybe don't get up here on a weekly basis.
Right.
Have you had a chance to see them in action? Do you know the caliber of racers that you're going to be competing against?
Yes, we're all pretty close to the same. We got a lot of younger folks in Iowa that are racing, and now it's getting bigger. But with Friday night being a work night for most people, it's hard to get too far to drive to one track. So I'm lucky enough I can choose between either track. It's about the same distance, but it does divide the group up, and those drivers are very good also. Good to hear.
What is it about that class that you're not in a B mod, you're not in an A mod, you're not in a street stock? What is it that keeps you in that class?
It's the group of guys. We all get along good. A lot of it's the price. For $12,000, you can go out and buy a brand new one. Go out and buy a brand new competitive A mod for $12,000. It's not going to happen. Even a B mod, you're spending extra money.
Right.
And the speeds, we're going as fast as an A mod around the track for a third the price to start up.
As we were saying last year, we had a race where Chris Apps, our race director, came in, and I wanted you guys clocked to see what you are compared to an A mod. You guys were doing 88 that night, faster than the A mods were, and it was just unbelievable.
It goes back and forth on the track conditions. They still have a lot more horsepower, and a lot more adjustments they can do with the car. But for the speed and the price, they're hard to beat, and keeping the class close as they can with the rules, so you don't have one guy. Money isn't a big issue.
Right. So now when you guys get guys like Kurt Lumen that's off camera here that didn't want to sit where you are, so we thank you for coming on, and we'll throw him under the bus. Talk about driving with these guys that you've been with for the past 4 years. You know who they are, you know their driving styles, and that's to make it that much more fun to race with them.
Actually, the class now has doubled in size, so a lot of new guys I haven't got a chance to race with yet. But yeah, you get to know how each guy drives, what they will and might not do. It's a learning experience, just like anything else. But it's still going to be new with the number of new people we have. So there's a lot of learning to go on yet with the new guys. They got to learn how to drive the car. They can't. It's not just get in it and go. It's
Right.
A lot of learning. This is harder than it looks. You hear that every time somebody starts driving a race car. I didn't think it was going to be that hard. Well, it's not just get in and drive. So.
We hear what it's like from a racer competing in the 600 Modified Series, but remember, you race fans can get involved as well, because the Rent Me Modified is always available at Mississippi Thunder Speedway. You can look them up online at the Mississippi Thunder Speedway website, MississippiThunder.com. Get contact information with Kurt Griffin or with Kurt Lumen, and get your name on the list before that car is booked for the season.
All right, John Griffin drives the 600 Modified K9. You'll see him out here not only at Mississippi Thunder Speedway this year, but also in that new Liquid Nitro Touring Series, which we can't wait to see what the car counts look like there. John, thanks for coming on the program. Good luck to you this year.
Thank you.
All righty, more to come next on the KQE GTV Mississippi Thunder Race Report.
We're here when the sun rises. And when the bread rises too. And we're here slicing a deli fresh every day. And every morning, we're chopping it all up. Why do we put so much effort into making it fresh? Because you deserve better.
Holman American Legion Post 284. It's all about veterans' rights, quality of life. The Legion belongs to the veterans it serves. The American Legion supports Holman High School sports and local NASCAR racing. Did you know the Legion is open to the public? Stop by for a cold one. Tuesday lunch is a home-cooked meal. Supper is Buck Burgers. Thursday, it's tacos. They can be the place for your wedding reception or meeting. Holman American Legion. It's for veterans and for the people of Holman.
Some of the best moments in life happen at home. American Standard Heating and Air works smarter to make them all more comfortable.
For a limited time, save over $600 on select American Standard systems. Call now for details.
Get ready for the Thunder!
The Mississippi Thunder Speedway.
Your Friday night racing destination.
Every Friday night.
Super stocks, modified,
600 mods.
pure stocks, street stocks, B-mods.
It's racing excitement, dirt track stock. Tickets $12 for adults, $10 for seniors. Students free with an ID. And this year, kids 17 and under free with an adult admission. Friday night racing starts at 7.
Bring on the Thunder!
Dirt track style at the Mississippi Thunder Speedway.
Highway 35 just north of Fountain City.
Welcome back, Seven Rivers Racing, KQEG TV. I'm Dan Diker. Thanks for joining us on the program. We'll be here all year round, giving you all the highlights and activity of all the racing here in western Wisconsin. I'm kind of excited for my next guest right here. He had kind of an interesting off-season when he talked late model racing, had some developments come around, and people always ask me, okay, Diker, who do you think is going to win a track championship? Who's going to be in the top three? Who are the ones to watch this year? And I usually don't say who the track champion will be because I don't like to slight folks. But if there's one that's going to be one to watch in the late models this year because of some things that happened during the wintertime, I think my next guest, you would rightly agree with, has got to be in the conversations of not only in the top three but possibly a track championship, and that would be the 33 of Matt Henderson. Matt, good to have you on.
Thanks for having me. I'm glad to be here.
Got a new haircut, too? Looks kind of short.
Of course. I had to get all nice and clean shaven before the season starts.
Matt told me he was getting his hair cut as he was coming up to tape the program this morning. Thank you.
I do what I can.
So it's good to see you back again. Of course, you know what Matt's car looks like. I saw some great shots out at the mall this year. And first off, the mall came back into the scene with Crosse Speedway this year. What was the attendance like around your car? Were you hearing some good feedback?
Yeah, it's we're just very thankful that the mall let us come back. It's been a few years now, and any time we can get our car out there, it's great for our sponsors. It's great for the track. All the fans come, well, even non-fans come out, I guess, because a lot of people that, you know, sometimes you talk to people, they've lived here their whole life and never been to the racetrack. So to get the cars out there, to promote the racetrack, to promote ourselves, it's a pretty cool deal. And we got a great spot in the mall. We were right by the Easter Bunny, so a lot of
there you go.
Yeah, so it was a pretty popular place, so to have our car there was pretty awesome.
You know, something else I think is really interesting that I've seen with the Speedway this year is they're using your car in a lot of different publications. I've seen them in magazines. I've seen them in some newspaper ads they're doing. That's going to make you really kind of feel cool. It's not you. They're centralizing on your car.
Yeah, I can't thank the track enough for that either. We try and keep our car looking good. You know, sponsorship is everything in racing. Without them, there's no way we could race. So we do our best to keep our car nice and clean, nice and shiny every week. And if we get it roughed up, you know, we try and get it fixed right away. And so just to have a clean and good-looking car really pays off, I think. And obviously the track is going to want to put good-looking cars out there for all the fans to see, so I just appreciate them doing that for us.
Let's go back a year ago. I was taking a trip to Winona to go to the Mississippi Thunder Speedway car show, and on the way there I got a call from Matt Henderson, and Matt said I got some bad news. And so what is that? Well, I got a new job. I'm not going to be able to run an entire race season. And you could hear the sadness in Matt's voice, and made a couple of attempts out here, did what he could because of his schedule. Now, as we fast forward a year later, things have totally changed for your racing team this year.
Yeah, hey man, it's all happening so fast too. I'm still going to be part-time where I was last year, but now being part-time, I'm going to start my own business, believe it or not.
See, that's two segments in a row that we have breaking news. Yeah. Wow.
So it's I'd be lying if I wasn't scared, but at least now I'll be able to race full time and spend a little more time with the family now that I'm starting my own business and all that. I think, anyways. I could be wrong, but excited, scared, all at the same time. But last year, you know, we were starting a family, and I just needed to it just wasn't working what I was doing, and I needed to bring more in for the family. And so as much as it sucked to not be out here racing every week.
Now, so who's more excited that you're going to run a full race season, you or your dad? Because his dad is involved like you would not believe, folks, on the work that goes into that late model.
Yeah, he's been working on that thing all winter long pretty much by himself because we work opposite schedules.
Right.
So the car has been everything. He tore it down to bare frame this winter, put a new stub on it. He's about peeing his pants to get out here today. So between all of us and our fans, we're all excited to be back.
Now, you came out in practice once last year on old tires. You guys were simply fast, and then the news came that you couldn't run a full season. Oktoberfest, you found out some really good things when you were running with all the other guys that were coming from all these various tracks. What are you looking at heading into 2014? Because you've got to know that you're going to be one of the top guns people are going for.
Well, I hope I can live up to everyone's expectations, but no one's harder on us than ourselves. And last year, we were really fast right out of the box, and unfortunately we got in that big wreck on, I think it was our third or fourth night out.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
And really bent up the stub on the car, but since we weren't running a full season, we just made do with what we had for the rest of the year and waited till the off season to fix the stub. And we haven't been on track yet this year, but hopefully today we'll get out there and shake her down, and I hope we can come out of the box fast.
Now, you're one of the veterans of the Speedway. You've been racing here for quite a many years. You were at the Cooley Go-Kart Raceway for a long time. Matter of fact, when I was announcing down there, you brought the cart out a couple of times. As an experienced veteran driver, you're out here on media day. You're out here for your very first practice. Do you still get the butterflies?
You do.
Or is it more anxious anticipation?
Yeah, I'd say more anxious. It's just like rush you get when you get behind the wheel. You know, you're just sitting there ready to go. I don't really get too nervous for practice, but still before every race when you're sitting in line waiting to come out, you get a little nervous. But as soon as you pull on the track, it's all bets are off. You know, you're just focused and don't worry about a thing.
What time was your dad up for media and practiced? Was he at like 4 or 5 o'clock this morning getting ready already?
I'm sure. He was out there till about 2 in the morning last night. I was driving home. I had to run down to the other side of Madison, and he called me about 2 o'clock. He was going in the house for the night, and we had the car ready and scaled for about the last week, so I don't know what the heck he could be doing out there till 2 in the morning, but I'm sure he was out there giving it a little pep talk and massage.
That guy is dedicated like you wouldn't believe. Talk about your sponsors for 2014.
We got a great list of sponsors this year. Ultra Federal Credit Union, driveultra.org. Got a couple new ones, Z93 and 1410 WIZM. Can't thank them enough. Bond Drywall, Custom Excavating, Block and Brick Supply, Retaining Wall Specialists, Hungry Peddler, Fastlane Auto, Charter Communications, Volden Construction, Hess Excavating, Collision Specialists, and InTheHunt.com.
Already, Matt Henderson drives the 33, always in the hunt, Quick Trip NASCAR late model. And again, folks, he's going to be one to watch this year with the Steve Carlsons and the Todd Koreshes and the Mike Carlsons. I'll tell you what, it's going to be an exciting year. And we're going to let Matt get back down there and get things rolling here on Media Day at the La Crosse Speedway. That's going to do it for the program this week. We appreciate you stopping by. Again, find out who these guys are. They're all on Facebook. They all have racing pages. And tell them you saw it right here on 7 Rivers Racing, KQEG TV. We'll see you next week.